Hi, I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Likes, the show where I talk about movies that I like. Today I'm talking about a great movie that was a staple of my childhood. Today, Johnny Likes Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
You tell him, Johnny. You tell the world.
So Wayne Szalinski is in many ways your typical suburban dad circa 1990 or so. He's got a wife, two kids, and a dog. But Wayne is a little bit wild though. He's quit his job in hopes of becoming a full-time inventor. He's invented a bunch of household objects with varying degrees of success, but his true passion is a shrink ray. He just can't seem to quite get it to work though. Through a perfect storm of events, the shrink ray becomes fully functional, and both Wayne's children and the neighbor's kids get shrunk, or shrank, down to about half the size of an ant. Wayne comes home after a humiliating presentation concerning his invention.
You have, however, managed to shrink one thing, the size of this audience. Gentlemen, ladies, I don't know about you, but I'm going to lunch.
And throws a little tantrum, smashing the shrink ray to the kids' horror as they watch on, all tiny like. And while cleaning up his shame after his little spaz, Wayne accidentally sweeps up the kids, and they get taken out with the trash. The kids escape the bag and find themselves in the now unfamiliar, dangerous alien terrain that is their backyard. So they gotta get back to the house, get the attention of Wayne, and somehow get themselves back to normal size. So I love this movie. I think it holds up great. I can't imagine kids not liking this movie, no matter what year it is. For me, it comes off as a mostly timeless classic. It does feel a tiny bit dated, just in the late 80s, early 90s, suburban America type of way. But apart from that, it's all still very relatable. And I've always been fascinated by the people getting smallified subgenre of films. Your Fantastic Voyage, your Inner Space, your Incredible Shrinking Person, all very fun stuff. But I'm pretty sure that this was the movie that kicked off my kind of love for that stuff. I saw it at such a young age that I don't remember there being a before Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And I was always happy to watch it if it popped up on TV or was playing at a friend's house. And I think it's a great premise for a movie, and I'm kind of shocked that it hasn't been rebooted yet. Not that it needs to be, but I'm still surprised. So it wasn't until fairly recently that I learned that the original story for this movie was authored by Brian Usna and Stuart Gordon, of all people, who, if you don't know, are guys mostly known for Lovecraftian horror, stuff like the Reanimator series. Don't quote me on this, but Gordon, I think, was originally attached to direct, but after a meeting or two with the Disney execs, he realized not a good idea, wasn't going to work out well for anybody, and he stepped back. So the script got a Disney-fied rewrite, and they hired first-time director Joe Johnston to do this, and he went on to be quite successful. It was probably a very good call. So the world they create in this is perfect. It's fantastical yet familiar. It feels kind of like a prehistoric thing, but it's not. It's just little familiar things, but they're big. The special effects and sets in this are great. They're wonderful. It's what more could you ask for? Lego is a 2-story house. A tiny little scorpion who, if memory serves, is stop motion maybe? Blades of grass as big as redwoods. A backyard sprinkler becomes a monsoon. The lawnmower becomes a death tornado thing. It's all very fun stuff. I love it. Well, there might be some wonkiness at times in terms of consistent scale and maybe realism. I didn't really find it to be a problem. Like, I know that ants don't make mammal noises.
Thanks for the lift, Auntie.
And that ant would 100% have ate those kids. I don't really care though, because I'm having so much fun. Super easy to suspend your disbelief in this one and just be completely immersed in the story and the adventure. Also, this technical marvel of animatronic puppetry. It took several people to operate. I don't know, it just works, so shout out to the special effects team for pulling that one off. So there's the obvious adventure and set, special effects, all that sort of stuff, which make the movie work, but I think one of the reasons that it has, or at least resonated with me, is that there's subtext to this one. There's kind of some common childhood themes running through this that aren't in your face, but if you dig a little bit deeper, they're there to be found, and I think they're worth talking about. Being unseen is a huge one. Nick, the youngest Zelinsky, comes up to his dad early on in the movie, and he's trying to show him his invention.
Look, I finished mine. Looks just like yours, huh?
That's great, Nick.
You took all the molecules in
Listen,
this
Nick,
house.
I gotta get this thing working before I leave. Why don't you go help your sister?
And Wayne doesn't give a shit, he brushes him aside. He's not seeing him. Later on, Nick is very nearly consumed by Wayne in a bowl of cereal. He's literally unseen or unheard in this one, and that's a common childhood kind of thing. It's not being recognized. He's screaming his lungs out, "Papa, please don't eat me, please hear me." That's not a direct quote, but it's something like that. And the cereal scene is like something out of a nightmare that Nick's id might come up with, or the viewer's id, to deal with frustration that he gets out of the non-validation from his father. And Ron Thompson, the elder neighbor boy, has a similar thing going on with his dad. The kid has no interest in fishing or football.
And is Russell ready for his big fishing trip?
Not really, Dad.
You were kind of upset about Russ quitting the team, hon.
Quit. I thought he was cut.
Ron's dad doesn't see him as a unique individual. In his eyes, he's just a smaller version of himself. And being forced to do stuff because adults made you, especially your parents or teachers, is a huge part of childhood. It's kind of childhood in a nutshell. The kids getting swept up in the trash and discarded while pleading for their lives. It's another one of those motifs. Your caretaker or your protector has now become your destroyer. They're no longer a safe person. That's like a baseline childhood fear. Your parents turn on you, right? And then there is the fact that the kids are literally transformed into tinier, even more helpless versions of themselves. Again, common thing with kids, because everything is already bigger than you and not built for you and kind of intimidating. And now it's brought to this even more extreme scale. So last thing I want to mention is the familiar and once safe space, one's own backyard, now becoming a dangerous, hostile environment. It's scary stuff. And that's why I think this film kind of works so well, is because it has these little themes or motifs, what have you, but it's not in your face about it. If you just want to have a little adventure film, you can, but all this stuff works on a gut level. Honestly, I don't like talking about the psychology theme stuff, but sometimes it's important enough to kind of mention, so here we are. So that's what makes the movie work. What doesn't work in the movie? Well, there's nothing that I would say outright fails in the movie, but there's a couple clunky and corny things. The parents appreciate their kids and won't take them for granted anymore.
You were right. You were brilliant.
Dad, if you really want me back on the team...
I don't care about the team. I care about you.
Yeah, it's corny. The teenage boy gets the cute girl next door.
Who wants bread?
Save some room for some cake.
Oh, you got cake for dessert?
Who wants bread?
It's all very feel-good, happy ending stuff. I get it, it's supposed to be a kid's movie, but it is still kind of cheesy. It's got that after-school special feel to it, and I felt that even as a kid. Like, I'm glad it's got a happy ending where everything works out. I don't want to see the edgy version of this film where one of the kids drowns in a spoonful of water or gets eaten by a scorpion. It's supposed to be a feel-good adventure movie for kids, not a survival horror film. Besides, there was enough traumatic moments in other kids' movies from the 80s. Losing the aunt was, enough. The other thing was, the kids' acting itself was passable, but nothing special. They were all kind of annoying initially, especially when they're bickering with each other.
You what?
It shouldn't have been closed in the first place. It's a nice day.
We'll take it out of my allowance. Give me my ball back.
Until you pay, no man shall pass.
But once they start working together, working as a team, it becomes a lot more tolerable. That's really all I have on the negative side of the movie. The acting wasn't great, but it was a late 80s children's movie. That wasn't the huge concern, so it's easily forgiven. So in summary, this is a great family film that holds up very well. It's just a little bit dated, but I think you can continue to show this to kids for, many years to come. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Those are my thoughts on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You can leave yours in the comments. Thanks for watching me talk about movies for a little while, and you can tune in next time to see what else Johnny likes.
Please like and subscribe.
It's quick.
It's free.
And,
Relatively painless.